We've time stoned.
Part do's. Greg, you were saying.
Yeah, so they show Captain America, they show Thor, they show Scott Lang, they show Doctor Strange, all doing their part to help get the Infinity Gauntlet where it needs to go.
And all get really cool moments,
and
too.
then all of a sudden,
Valkyrie
they're nowhere
gets a
to be
cool
found.
Yeah.
And instead, you've got Pepper Potts, who's been in the movie like a total of 5 seconds. You've got the lady bodyguard from Wakanda, who's also been in the movie a total of like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You've got Black Panther's sister, who's been in the movie 1 second. You've got...
It was mostly like a shadow of her, too.
Yeah.
You saw like her silhouette.
Scarlet Witch suddenly there, who was there for like 5 seconds. Because they were all dead or not in the movie. And then all of a sudden you just get like all these characters who weren't in the movie at all, who just stand up and like make a heroic pose in the middle of this battle.
It felt a little too obligatory. Like, I think it would have... It was... They all had to get, like, this heroic moment, and it ended up detracting from it as a whole, because what they were doing was just...
They stopped the movie to do it.
Didn't make sense.
They stopped, yeah. It would have been really cool. So, like, who got a cool moment was...
Scarlet Witch.
What's his name? So Scarlet Witch, yeah. And it's not like it was this case of, oh, the girls didn't get cool moments.
They didn't get cool moments, though.
It was
their cool moment was to step forward and be like, yeah, and then that's
Pepper
kind
Potts
of it.
did get one with the Tony Stark.
A little bit.
But here's the thing. That's not the point I was trying to make. That's not the point I was trying to make. But
that's the point I'm trying to make. With you.
Well, I mean, just as far as like, oh, like girls didn't get one. I was talking about characters in general.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, we see a lot of them getting. What's the name of Doctor Strange's friend? The other guy? Wong? Like Wong. Wong, he's like a dude. We all know who he is. But he's just a dude. And he's got some powers. Like, we're not going to put Wong on the same level as Doctor Strange. Just like we're not going to put Black Panther's sister's combat ability on the same level as Black Panther, right? And Wong gets like some cool moments. You see Wong out there doing some shield action.
Moves,
Wong was doing.
He
a lot
does
of
cool
stuff.
And you see, like, okay, realistically, now I'm not talking like this is like some Game of Thrones shit. Like, we don't have to be like just really realistic and gritty about it. But not everybody's there to fight another like named villain. You know, like a good example was I really don't think that you see Star-Lord do anything crazy, but you do see him fly in. And he's just drive-bying motherfuckers.
Yeah, he
and his moment is with
like
Gamora.
A cowboy on jetpacks.
Yeah. And that's appropriate.
And you get that kind of stuff with like War Machine. Like one who got a really cool one was like Valkyrie. Got a really cool one.
Valkyrie was way cool.
Like jumped at one of those flying worm things and was just like
dragged her spear all the way down. It's really cool.
Pepper Potts got a cool one. When you see her, because she's like the first one to show up.
Yeah.
Of like the other characters. So it felt like do more of that, do less of like this we want to say, like, you know what, cool dude, give me an extra 4 minutes of just bullshit fight scenes. Don't give me this weird like spoon-fed virtue signaling lineup that just does none of the characters justice and then like so obviously detracts from the movie.
To be fair though,
it
is very short, it's very brief.
But it's
so enough that we've dedicated so much time to it.
It is jarring.
It's so jarring.
It is jarring. I get that, but at the same time, it's not that big.
I feel like it gets a pass because at that point, my dick was still hard from Cap getting Mjolnir.
Yeah.
That's the next one. I feel like we got to just move on to. Is Cap getting Mjolnir?
Yeah, I'm moving right along. That was really cool. I think that was perfect and paid off. I
feel like it was.
Sorry, Greg.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to say that female part gets overshadowed a lot by me from all the other bad mistakes that followed.
The worst stuff. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like the Mjolnir part.
No, I love the Mjolnir part, but that came before this.
And
I'm talking about all the mistakes they make after.
And real quick with that, I think the thing is, 2 days from now, we're going to forget that and just be like, oh yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's
It's that we just got out of this thing.
It's a weird part, but like other movies make similar mistakes. Other movies have weird little things.
It just
forget them.
Before we get to
it's
Act
not a
3,
highlight of the movie.
Yeah, before we get to Act 3, Part 2, if that's the biggest problem apart from the boundaries and the time travel stuff of this movie, That's still a hell of a fucking magic trick it's pulled off.
If it's 3 hours long, and in the first 2.5 movies, our biggest gripe is, you know, that one weird scene they shoehorned in that final fight? Like, that's a pretty good bar to
For me,
have
it was just
set.
that they did it again. That's what really gets me. If it would have been the first time, I would be like, oh, okay, fine, whatever.
So
I just think that, like, that's a pretty minor thing to gripe on when, up until
Agreed.
that point, they played a really good
damn solid.
Good setup. So, like...
So,
yeah.
So, fight happens.
Big fight happens.
Really cool. The end of the fight and the like, stakes of, like, oh, will they, won't they? Playing with the gauntlet. Really cool, really everything. And then, Tony gets the gauntlet. Tony snaps his fingers. And that payoff is really cool. And then the rest of the movie decides to happen.
Then his slow death. That was totally unnecessary.
Yeah. Okay.
They do so. Okay.
I don't. That one I don't want to spend a lot of time on because
I don't
feel
because
like
it happened.
was heavily,
you knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like
meta movie wise, it's like yeah, if
you want to meta game it, you know, but you knew he was gonna die from the second the fucking Infinity War Endgame thing popped up at the start of the movie. I was like, Tony Stark's fucking dead.
Yeah.
There's no way he makes it through this movie. There's absolutely no way.
And I also, real quick, love the stuff between Tony Stark and his daughter.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
But you could be the most crumply of crumple brains and know that Tony Stark was going to die in this movie.
So, he dies, and it's really maudlin, and we get everyone's reaction to it, and it's like, okay. Let's just get this over with.
We've had this arc, you know.
Yeah.
We literally started the Marvel saga with Tony Stark. Of course it's gonna fucking end with him.
Yes.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He's the best actor out of all of them. I say that he's definitely like the most characterized out of them.
Yeah.
He's had the arc.
If RDJ wasn't there, if he didn't make Iron Man 1 work, none of this would be here. So, okay, I get it. He's really want to do all the pomp and circumstance. Fine. Now, I'm gonna go about my little bit about what the very end of this film kind of gets to me, and then Greg here, who's, for those of you who don't know, is a huge fan of Captain America, and will probably have even more than me to say. But I'm gonna keep mine short. Captain America is like, okay, we gotta get these stones back. Cap's like, all right, I'll go do it. Stone. You should be back by now. And they turn old man Captain America, old man Steve, sitting on a bench. He's like, all right. And I never liked Bucky. I never liked the Falcon. I don't give a shit about their three-way bullshit. I don't fucking care. But anyway, oh yeah, Sam, go ahead and talk to him. Captain America is sitting there. He's like, you know,
looking like Matt Damon.
Looking like Matt
Damon in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
I really, like, when I saw Old Man, I just wanted it to be Clint Eastwood. I wanted so bad.
That was
for it
your
to be
problem?
Clint Eastwood.
You wanted to be like, you fucking spooks or some shit. Like,
God.
just to say some racist
but
shit.
when I saw
God.
Old Man, like, at first, the way his face looked, I was like, Clint Eastwood? Are they going to do this? And then it wasn't, and they just Grand Moff Tarkined it, and it was all bad.
Anyway, the part that kind of bugs me about this is I don't think that Cap would do what Cap did. I don't think that he'd go back in time and be like, I gave it all up for a wife and that good life that Tony was talking about. That, not only does it go against just what I think Captain America is, that kind of goes against how they set him up at the beginning of this whole thing, of this movie. It's like, no.
Is that he's accepted.
Yeah.
Well, that and so
that and the Peggy, or
my two
Peggy,
cents,
right?
yeah, Peggy Carter.
Peggy, it's like I thought.
My 2 cents with it is that I felt like the Cap Peggy thing already got.
Yeah.
We already went over it.
Yeah.
We already went over it in a previous movie.
It was moving along really well. And I wanted,
I feel like they established that. You know, as far as Peggy Carter goes, she died with no regrets kind of thing. Like, she lived her
Yeah.
life. She was sad that Cap wasn't around, but like she kind of like knew why he wasn't.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop her from living her life. She got to go live her life. And now it's like, okay, I guess we've just undone all of that.
Yeah.
And he's like, he like time cucked whatever other dude was going to get with her or whatever.
I
don't
do
know.
not think that Cap
I
would
was so
give
not
up,
invested.
because it also kind of makes it seem that Cap's like, all right, I'm done being a hero.
Yeah, like I was very not invested in that storyline.
And that, so that wouldn't be so much of an issue, but holy God, it was just the double fisting of like, all right, we get it, he's dead, let's move along. And Cap doing what Cap does, it's just boom, boom, ugh, fuck. That's what we get to end this on. Now, Gregory.
Yeah. So, I know they didn't talk about it as much in the movies, but a really core concept of Captain America is that he is the soldier. And I don't mean soldier as in he's in the army. I mean, he's somebody who he sees his responsibility as shouldering the burden for those who can't shoulder it for themselves.
Absolutely.
And for him to essentially shrug off that burden, especially in a world that he specifically helped rebuild, he knows that there's a place for them in it. Internal to himself, he feels he's responsible to make up for every other super soldier that could never be, because he was the only one that was done. Again, how they decide time is just something that is
they kind of
open to
break
play
their
with.
own time rule again with him aging,
because he just goes back in time.
And also, did he give up his super soldier stuff?
So it varies on who's writing or whether or not he ages. But yeah, he goes back there for a mission. He returns everything, but then he's just like, all right, and I'm just not going to go back. And which isn't like him, especially after losing Tony Stark. Like,
yeah, he'd be like, I have to make up for the sacrifice he made.
Yeah, because Thor decides he's going off with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Hulk essentially is a half cripple now. And with Tony Stark dead, and Black Widow dead, you really, out of the original cast, only Hawkeye is left. And it would be Hawkeye and Cap. So why would Cap just be like, you know what? You guys are okay without me. Happy trails, Prospector.
Especially when everything we see with Sam Wilson is either him bitching to try and get Captain's attention and be Captain's protege, or fucking up.
Yeah, and the biggest part that really gets me is that at the end, when they see Cap gives his shield because he internally knows there needs to be that symbol. There needs to be somebody who can fill that role.
He's like, but it ain't gonna be me though, boys.
But it's not me. And so, peace.
It's a very selfish thing for a guy who literally spent 15 minutes of the movie swinging Thor's hammer around.
He was, the point is that he's not a selfish person. That he's doing this because
he's a stubborn person.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
He's
that's
doing
like
it
his,
and that's why he
has
can't
to
let it
shoulder
go.
that
That's his
responsibility.
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
now, I will say, if this were kind of personally, I think a great parallel is The Dark Knight Rises. So, would Batman ever give up being Batman and hand it off to someone else? No. And there have been comics where he's like, I won't ever do that.
Incorporated.
Contrary to Batman Incorporated, which I do think is betrayal.
Though.
Yeah. So, but we've set up this little thing, 3 movies, and this is the arc of it, and that's been his goal all along. That's fine. I'm totally fine with how that executes. This is 10 years worth of movies, a shit ton of 11, a shit ton of Captain America with this specific captain. This is his journey. This is what he has done, and this is the way they want to pay it all off.
Literally gets the past version of him fighting him, going, "Never know when to quit." You know, like,
I could do this all day.
I could do this all day.
Yeah, I know. And he gets up and just but like,
It's very out of character. Whereas I feel like Tony Stark's like, okay, it's like if you're gonna kind of metagame it, like, you know he's gonna die. You know Tony